Hello everyone and welcome to a really angry YouTube video about RAILJACK. So in the Sisters of Parvos update for Warframe, they have added some tenant weapons, some tenant and melee weapons you can get from the relays that you can only buy with things that are called like corrupted hollow keys or something like that. Corrupted hollow keys only come from VOIDSTORMs in RAILJACK. So if you hit the RAILJACK button on your star chart, you will see all the Proximas. The missions with, like, you know, wind or void wind behind them, like this one, are VOIDSTORMs. So on Earth right now there's Corm's Belt. I am going to go over in this video everything you need to know about completing RAILJACK missions quickly and efficiently, and what you should do in either a solo situation or in a squad situation. And hopefully the message gets through, because there are a lot of people that just don't know how this works, and I don't know why, but this video seems to be necessary. So let's jump into it.
I am the one to avenge them. Me! I'm going to defeat you!
First things first, we're going to go into a little bit of an explanation about doing solo missions in the RAILJACK. So we're going to look at our crew here. So first of all, the solo in the RAILJACK, you really want to have command leveled up, sorta, in your intrinsics. Don't worry about intrinsics too much yet, especially if you're a newer player who is watching this video just to learn how the RAILJACK structure works. In that case, you probably want to just join a public squad or find a crew of your own in like recruiting chat. But if you want to solo in RAILJACK, you're gonna want to at least have command up to like rank 5, maybe 6. That's kind of your goal, and that shouldn't be too many points. But we're gonna look at my crew here. Sorry for the cut, my fucking game crashed. Anyway, continuing from where we left off. So with my crew here, if you have command rank 10, you can have elite crew members. I only have this one so far. It really doesn't matter if you just have 3 of the regular non-elite crews. All this means this specific crew member has like more points in total than these other 2, but all you're looking for in your crew are you want somebody with 5 in piloting, you want somebody with 5 in gunnery, and you want somebody with 5 in repair. That's all you need, okay? Endurance and combat are like, endurance is useful for, you know, your crew members not dying if we get invaded by some Grenier, and combat really doesn't matter, because you can give them weapons of your own, and in at least RAILJACK, levels don't get high enough for you to ever need a damage bonus on your strongest of weapons. So that's in a solo mission. We're gonna go over the roles here. So we have somebody on engineer, somebody on gunner, and somebody on pilot. You only need one gunner if you want to just fly around and take out all the regular little ships, and then somebody on pilot they actually added recently the ability for the crew members to shoot like radiators and security nodes and, like, you know, smaller objectives that you expose as the away crew in RAILJACK. So it's very useful to have a pilot now. The only thing is that they don't take out cruise ships. So what you're going to do in a RAILJACK mission, the basic skirmish route that we're going to go through, I'll probably have some footage going on while I'm explaining this. You're gonna, as soon as the mission starts, you're gonna hop in the pilot seat, or actually you can either hop in the pilot seat or leave the RAILJACK and just fly directly towards the objective, the missile platform, the you know, the ship killer platform, whatever it is. Just fly directly into it and just do that objective first. So when you do that, your pilot in the pilot seat, your crew member, is going to follow in the RAILJACK to the objective with you, and then enemies are going to start spawning around that area because that's where the RAILJACK is. So simultaneously, while you're working through there, and if it's a VOIDSTORM, you're collecting reactant, doing the objective, you're going to expose the first radiator, okay? Your pilot, which is new with this update, able to shoot the radiators, is going to shoot them. That'll be very useful. All the while, whoever's on your gunnery seat is taking out all the small ships and everything like that. And then you're going to get your 10 reactant, you're going to finish that objective, and by the time you're done, You should have all the ships cleared. The only thing left to do is take out the crew ships, however many it is. Usually 2, usually 4. So by default, usually your Railjack, when it starts a mission, is going to have 2 dome charges in your forward artillery, okay? Usually, you're going to have to take out more crew ships than that. So as soon as you're done with the objective, I would warp back to the Railjack, go down into the forge, and just forge up 4 more dome charges. So you're going to have 6 total for like the mission. At that point, tell your pilot to get the hell out of there, put him on a gun or whatever, it doesn't really matter. And you're going to sit in the pilot seat, take out a cruise ship's engine so it doesn't move, get out of the pilot seat, go into the forward artillery, and shoot it with the forward artillery. Do that, 3, 6, 4 times, however many cruise ships you got to take out, and the mission's done. You'll get your relic cracked open, and you'll get your chance at some holo keys. So that's relatively simple with soloing in the crew. But we're gonna hop into my Railjack for real while I'm explaining this next section to really go over what to do when you're in a squad of real people in the Railjack. So we're not actually going to go into a crew we're just going to do a solo mission real quick because people are really bad at Railjack. So let's just go into free flight for now to try to explain the basic structure here. As you can see, I'm playing Neja and I have a Kuva Brahma. You pretty much just want your strongest whatever Warframe, maybe with some high energy capacity for when you're in the pilot seat. Really doesn't matter, just be able to survive the enemies and kill them with a good weapon. That's really all you need. So when you're in a squad with other players, there are 4 people in a squad, obviously, and the roles are going to be a little bit different than with the AI crew members, because obviously players are able to do more than the AI are if they have brains, which most of them don't, and that's the reason I'm making this video, to explain to you what these 4 roles should be. So player 1 should always be in the pilot seat. There should be a player in the pilot seat, and your role, you have 3 things to do, okay? When there's a big swarm of all the little ships at the beginning of every mission, you're gonna head toward the objective and just passively be shooting seeker volley, which is gonna be your 3rd battle avionic, and I will get into your optimal Railjack equipment setup later. You're gonna want to have seeker volley or something different like shatter burst. I have on my 2. Doesn't really matter. Something like that can kill the those small ships. You're just gonna passively, take out some enemies while you're on the way to the objective. Okay. So once you're at the objective, you're gonna continue, doing that, and once the radiators are exposed from somebody in the away crew, and we'll get into somebody else in the away crew later, you're just gonna shoot the radiators. And then once the objective's done, we'll get into what you do with crew ships, okay? Player 2 is going to be in the forward artillery right here. And as you can see, like I said earlier, the Railjack, starts out with 2 dome charges at the beginning of a mission, okay? 2 is usually not enough. So, at the beginning of a mission, whoever's going to be in the forward artillery seat, it is very useful for you to go down into the forge and make yourself a few dome charges. I can't do that in free flight, obviously, but make yourself, probably do all 4, and somebody on the ship should have Battle Forge. I do, specifically, but Battle Forge should be used pretty much, you should always just use up all 4 forges and then hit your Battle Forge. That's kind of the meta. So that'll be the person on the forward artillery, okay? Let me explain to you that when you're in the pilot seat and you have somebody else in the forward artillery seat, when dealing with cruise ships, you are going to get up to the cruise ship. If you want to, it will help out the person in the forward artillery seat to shoot the cruise ship's 3 engines out, okay? That'll make the cruise ship stop moving. And what's going to happen is you're going to look at the cruise ship and fucking stay still. I cannot tell you how many times players have been fucking around doing shit like this, just flying around wildly around the cruise ships, and I can't fucking aim my forward artillery at the cruise ships. It's ridiculous. So imagine, let's say this rock right here, this rock right there is a cruise ship, okay? Let's wait for my AI crew member to get back in the pilot seat. There he is. Now, how the hell am I going to shoot that little rock when this has happened? That's the problem. So when you get up to a cruise ship, you can shoot out its engine so it doesn't move, and then you fucking stay still, okay? Please, for the love of Christ, stay still so somebody can shoot the cruise ship. You don't need anybody to exit the railjack and go into the cruise ship and disable its reactor from the inside. That takes way longer. It's unnecessary, and it's only for like lower level cruise ships, or like if your railjack just isn't strong enough to use the forward artillery to its maximum potential. And we'll get to the railjack build and everything later as well. So, player 3, okay? Player 3, we got one person in the pilot seat, one person in the forward artillery. Player 3 is going to exit the railjack in their Arcwing, and they're going to go into whatever the objective is. They're going to go into the ship platform or the missile platform, the ship killer, whatever it is. You're going to go inside. Let's say this void tower is the platform or the objective. You're going to be inside, okay? And once you're inside, if it's a void storm, which it usually is because that's the relevant railjack farm right now, all the enemies are going to become corrupted inside this objective. So you're going to, kill them with whatever good weapon you have. And you're going to get plenty of reactant. Now, it's important to know that when anybody gets reactant, in Railjack specifically, everybody on the crew gets the reactant. So only one person needs to be out collecting reactant. Everybody else will get it at the same time. All relics will be opened. It's not a big deal. So once you're passively collecting reactant in here, you're going to also do the objective, expose the radiators or whatever. Wait for somebody outside to shoot the radiators, and that should be the person in the pilot seat, obviously. And then, you do the second radiator, whatever the objective is. You get the idea. And then once you're done with that, you can recall back to the railjack. And by that point, the person in the pilot seat who has been helping you destroy the radiators should also have passively taken out all the small ships by now by shooting forward artilleries, or the missiles and the shatterbursts, whatever it is. And all that should be left would be the cruise ships. So you would take those out, as I've explained, with somebody in forward artillery, somebody in the pilot seat. The fourth player is kind of the flex slot. Usually I would ask the fourth player to be the guy in the forge, making me extra dome charges, making sure the hull breaches don't kill the railjack, repairing stuff, crafting revelite, however you pronounce it. You can make some energy if you want to go above and beyond. Munitions aren't really required until you get to like the Veil Proxima, and railjacks or cruise ships have like the big shields. But once your railjack is outfitted enough, you're gonna have like 31 munitions just available right from the get-go, and you really don't need more than like 10 at a time. So the fourth player kind of has it easy. You kind of pick up the slack of whoever else of the three players is not doing their fucking job, because there will be somebody, assuming this video doesn't go viral. And it won't. Viral damage is the meta right now. Anyway, so that's going to be your 4 main players, okay? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back to the dry dock, and we're going to go over some equipment ideas, some of the things to go for or whatnot. It's important to note that a lot of your general setup doesn't matter too much in terms of like your which guns you have on the railjack, or what reactor and hull and shit like that. But here, I'm going to get into the dry dock real quick, and we're going to go over what I have and how you should try to keep your railjack. Alright, so we're going to go over to configure railjack. So generally, you just want to have Mark III stuff. Really doesn't matter. What I have is the perfect railjack setup. Whenever the Railjack 2.0 stuff came out, I went and like just did all of it, and I completely 100% perfected my railjack. So what I have, including my Plexus build here, everything I have on my railjack related to my railjack, including the crew, except for two. These two aren't elite, but it really doesn't matter. Everything I have is 100% optimal. Like if you want the perfect railjack, you build exactly what I have here. Okay, there really aren't. There's a little bit of leeway in terms of like, do you want to go for different guns because you like how different ones shoot, but generally you just want Mark III stuff. So like the Levant shield array is going to be your best bet. because of its passive, which gives you more shield capacity and shield regeneration, which is useful for some of the Plexus mods. So it's going to keep your shields up mostly. The engines, these ones are kind of like, they have the best ratio of engine speed to boost speed, so when you're boosting, your railjack is going to be at its fastest with the Levant engines Mark III, okay? You know, the Vidar plating has also the best ratio of hull to armor, so that you have the highest actual EHP, effective health. And then the Zeki reactor has the most, you know, strength and range, which is what you want for your battle avionics. So like, you know, the Levant reactor has like duration, which is like, what are you going to use that for? Sigma doesn't do anything. Vidar has range and duration, no strength. So the Zeki is what you're going to want to go for. All the little passive things are kind of like the taste, like, you know, these engines have increased top speed by 20% while shields are depleted. Again, with this Levant shield array, my shields aren't going to be depleted, so this doesn't really matter, but on the off chance we're taking some damage, I'll be able to be faster, and that's, you know, that's fun. Doesn't really matter. So with guns, same thing, just have some Mark III stuff, make sure it's like fully, you know, valenced, stuff like that. I have a bunch of extras of other good ones in case I want to swap them out for any reason at all. Doesn't really matter. And so when we get to the Plexus, my A setup is Agniratha. This is kind of like the optimal best railjack build you could possibly have. I do have like a maxed out version of every single relevant mod, at least at the time that Railjack 2.0 came out. And there might be a couple of new ones, like Overloader I think was added later, but like this is not useful. Stuff like that. So integrated mods, what you're really looking out for is to have some speed, like cruising speed and ion burn are very useful. You want to have turret damage, so Crimson Fugue. Forward artillery, this one is essentially, if no other single mod on the entire railjack you have forward artillery maxed out, okay? This is going to help you one-shot the cruise ships, because, you know, if you can't one-shot them with the forward artillery, using several dome charges on each cruise ship, and that's a big waste. It's going to be really slow. This is the thing that's going to make your railjack missions efficient, assuming the players actually know what they're doing, okay? Everything else is just, you know, basic turret damage, turret crit chance, turret crit damage, more damage if my shields are above 75%, which works with my Levant engines, which keep my shields at max while I'm using abilities and shit like that. Crimson Fugue is very useful. It's kind of like Blood Rush for turrets. Onslaught Matrix is kind of the aura I've gone for. You know, it's kind of like a good balance between damage and like, you know, tankiness. Doesn't really matter too much. Battle avionics, okay? So Seeker Volley on the third slot, absolutely required. If you don't have this, your railjack missions will be longer. You can alternatively use Shatterburst instead of Seeker Volley if you don't have a maxed out one, or you want to have fun with Phoenix Blaze or Void Hole or some shit like that. Shatterburst is an okay alternative. It's kind of second to Seeker Volley. The first one doesn't really matter. I have countermeasures. I literally don't use it. It doesn't matter in the slightest. You have like what, Blackout Pulse, Munitions Vortex. Sure, do whatever you want with that one. Tactical form up is absolutely required for one reason and one reason only. When the mission is completed, all players need to return to the railjack. Either people are brain dead or they're griefing you, because a lot of the time, I find more than half the time in public squads, people don't return to the railjack after the mission ends. They're either too chromosome deficient to read that it says return to the railjack, or they're intentionally trolling you by just not finishing the mission. So you want to have form up for when the mission is over, the relic is open, everything's done, everybody needs to return to the railjack. You hit form up, and then that will instantly refresh by the time you get to the next mission. So this is absolutely required to be in your first slot. Squad renew does not matter in the fucking slightest. If you got people dying in railjack missions, you know, that's step one to failure. Second one, Death Blossom doesn't matter at all. You have Battle Stations or Death Blossom. They're both exactly the same in terms of effectiveness for a mission. Doesn't matter which one you use. Absolutely useless. I never even used them in the first place. Third one, Battle Forge is going to be your best bet. Void Cloak is for if your railjack is not, you know, kitted out enough to actually do the missions you're doing. So maybe use this if you're still progressing in Railjack, trying to get your Railjack strong enough to do these kinds of things. But Battleforge is going to be the best avionic here, because you're going to want to use all the forges at once to make like dome charges or whatever, and then instantly use Battleforge. This will make the forges reset like 75%, so you only have to wait 25% of the time or something like that for them to refresh and you can use them again for, you know, Revelite or more dome charges or energy, whatever else you need in the Battleforge. Glowburn is like, you know, technically the speedrun avionic, but you know, for any mistakes that are had in missing cruise ships, so you need more dome charges, or, you know, the hull breaches happening because the ship killer platform is taking too long, so you need more Revelite. Battleforge is your best bet here. I also have some alternative builds like this one, really kind of just different stuff. I Raider Matrix is kind of like the Arcwing focused build, and then like the Railjack Speed focused build, so I have like Conic Nozzle in there, and this one's kind of like the I don't know, hybrid kind of defensive tank one, so I have like Orgone Tuning Matrix, and like, you know, defensive fire, Crimson Fugue, Revo Reducer. Again, so this is going to be your best one. This is something you can go for speed, and this is like the tanky build, but this one's the hybrid kind of gonna make sure you do every mission with maximum efficiency. Okay. Otherwise, let's look at Intrinsics here. As you can see, I have all of my Intrinsics maxed out except for Gunnery. I have enough intrinsic points available to rank this up right now, but the reason I'm not doing that is because Gunnery rank 10 is an active nerf to your ability to shoot things, which is really stupid, and they absolutely need to change this intrinsic. So when you hit Gunnery rank 10, your turret aim will snap the lead indicator for 3 seconds. That means if your gun on your Railjack is not hit scan and you have to lead the shot to make it hit an enemy, you'll know after playing Railjack a little bit that when you have a non-hit scan weapon, it'll show a little circle kind of outside of the diamond shape of the enemy's health bar, and that's kind of like the lead indicator. Like, you should shoot in that little circle, and the bullet will travel and lead itself to where the ship is heading and hit it. When you hit Gunnery rank 10, if you hold right click, that will make it automatically aim at like the nearest lead indicator for the nearest enemy. And that sounds alright. It kind of works on console for people with controllers, but if you have a real mouse, like if you're playing on mouse and keyboard, you don't need this. It also is not very consistent because it only shoots at the lead indicator exactly when you shoot, and the ships will change velocity very often, and the lead indicator will then change and you'll miss anyway. So the real answer is use Secret Volley and get up close to the ships. But the active nerf to this is turrets overheat 20% faster. That's just a fucking nerf to your entire Railjack. Why would you upgrade this? If you already have it, it's not a big deal. You're just gonna have to rely on Secret Volley a little bit more, I guess. But do not upgrade into this. It does give you some mastery, but it's not worth making all of Railjack worse because of your turret overheat being faster. Sucks ass. Anyway, I have 10 in all of the other intrinsics. Don't worry about getting command 10. All this lets you do is get those elite crewmates, which I've stated do not matter at all. They just have more, like, default points to give into their 5 stats. Just as long as you have somebody with like a 5 gunnery, a 5 piloting, and a 5 repair, that's all you need. Okay. So with engineering gives you all the good. You can use the necromechs and shit like that. Gives you more efficiency, less Revelite usage. Piloting gives you more damage and lets you move the Railjack with boosts and blinks and shit like that faster. And tactical lets you warp in between, like warp 2 players, warp players to you, stuff like that. Pretty useful. Warp around the ship even. Basic stuff. So that's pretty much it. Why don't we splice in some footage of me doing a Railjack mission. We're just gonna do this live right now. I'm just gonna go into a public Railjack mission, and we're gonna see how it goes. Either nobody's playing the mission I'm playing and I just have to do a solo run and we can show that, or like one person will join and just not do their job. I can almost guarantee we won't have a squad of 4 people that actually know what they're doing. So we're just gonna go to the nearest Grineer VOIDSTORM. I'm gonna open a relic for a Forma. I need some Forma right now. We're gonna see what happens. So immediately I've gone into a loading screen, which means most likely we're not going to be using my RAILJACK. We're going to be using a suboptimal RAILJACK. But we'll see. Alright, here we are. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not my RAILJACK. We got somebody in the pilot seat. And it's just me and him, so no other crew members. So the best thing for me to do as just the second crewmate is, if he's on the pilot seat, I'm going to go into the forward artillery. So I'm going to focus on cruise ships. Here's one here. He is not staying completely still, but that's still enough. He kind of knows what's going on. I only have 2 dome charges, and we have to kill 4 cruise ships, so I'm going to wait for him to aim at the second cruise ship, and then I'm going to warp to the forge and make myself some more dome charges. There it is. Now, I could shoot it from here, but I know this guy is probably going to whip around and cause me to miss. So I'm going to try to shoot it now, and he's whipping around like hell, so I can't actually see. Let's try to shoot this. Yeah, this is exactly what I said would happen. There we go. I got lucky and able to hit it. So I'm out of dome charges. We got to kill 2 more cruise ships. So I'm going to warp to the forge as fast as I can, get some dome charges going. I'm just going to forge 1 because there's 2 more cruise ships, and this will give me 3 charges, so that'll be plenty. Going to, oops, Nezha is slippery slidey. Gonna get back in here. He was like, what the hell's going on, man? We didn't have enough dome charges, so we got out of the pilot seat. That at least lets us keep the ship still, so that is actually optimal. That was optimal play by me. So now we're gonna get up to the 4th cruise ship here, and as you can see, just passively in our process of doing this, we've already taken out all the small ships. He is not keeping the RAILJACK very still. There we go. So with my incredible aim and having a good mouse, I was able to... Oh, I got the glitch. I was able to get the cruise ships. A lot of the time there's a glitch where when you're getting out of this forward artillery seat, it'll just put you right back in. Anyway, so everything's done except for boarding the galleon. So since we don't have an away crew person to do that, I guess that'll be me now that we're done with all the cruise ships. So we're just going to go in here. And I have a Frag War Prime with a Ribbon, so why don't we use that with heavy attacks to get my reactant. I also have a Kuva Brahma, which will be very useful with Nezha because he's immune to the knockdown with his 3. So at this point, the pilot technically shouldn't enter with me, but since it's only us 2 and everything else is done, the Grineer Galleon Captain can drop some unique stuff, so if you wanted to come in, it would be fine. But usually, ideally, depending on the mission, you only want 1 person doing something because it only takes 1 person to do something. I try to get all the reactant right here. There we go. 10 reactant, so now I don't care about enemies. I'm just going towards the Galleon Captain. Alright, alright. Did get Nezha bonus, which means my 1 will make me a lot faster. I'm gonna take this guy out. There we go. And now everything's done, relic's open. I'm going to recall through the RAILJACK. This guy might have form up and might use it on me, but it doesn't matter, I'm already here. And he did leave to go in there and try to help me out or get something. So we're now wasting time, so what I'm going to do is go to my tactical menu and use form up. So he gets the hell in here. Oh, there we go. He came back in, so I'm going to take my Forma. He can have that Orthos Prime blueprint. And that is for 2 people in a public mission, almost pretty much optimal. That was as good as you're gonna get. I hope this video helps to educate some people in how to do this shit more efficiently, so that we can do more missions faster and hopefully get all of our corrupted holo keys. Maybe. Did we get any? Maybe not. Nope. Incredible. So that was a big waste of time. We didn't get any corrupted holo keys. I did get a former blueprint, which is what I came for. Yeah, that's kind of as good as it's gonna get. This guy almost knows what he's doing sometimes. And yeah, he's gonna do another mission. He's not just gonna do one mission and immediately go back to the Tridoc. I don't know why that vote didn't go through. Oh, I have to choose a relic to... It doesn't have a form in it. This one does. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna continue doing missions like this because this guy semi knows what he's doing. So yeah, that was pretty fun. Somebody's messaging me on Discord. That wasn't you. Sorry about that. I'm gonna end the video here, I guess. Thanks guys for watching. I will see you and this guy out on the star chart. See you around, Tenna.